Nessa Sunshine here, and it is time for Sunshine Academy, where I show you how-to on how I do different parts of my makeup. Today, we are getting into full coverage foundation. The prime, the foundation application, that's it. So if you want to see how-to on how I do my full coverage foundation, well, subscribe to my channel, and let's get into the how-to. Skincare is important. Of course, I do my skincare routine. I make sure to put on moisturizer, and I also put on oil under my eyes, especially because this part of my face is drier than any other part. This part gets really dry, and then the fine lines start to show even more through the makeup. So I like to put like a facial oil, either like the Anastasia Beverly Hills Hydrating Oil, or even the Laura Mercier Rose Water Oil. Next, what I like to do is put on a primer. This primer is the Cover FX Blurring Primer. My T-zone is very porous. What can I do? So I like a blurring primer. I love the Cover FX Blurring Primer. I do like the Benefit Professional and Professional Pearl Primer. I like to take some into my hands. This is a very important part of getting a full coverage, intense, flat, seamless foundation routine. I like to go over very evenly, making sure my whole nose is covered in primer, and my upper lip as well, my inner cheeks, because this is where the more porous area is here on my face. So I like to put it in the center between my brows, over my forehead, and I really like to smooth over my primer. What it is doing, it's blurring out the fine lines that I do have on my face and the texture I do have on my face. Skincare, of course, is so helpful, especially exfoliating, have a lot smoother, and I need that to happen before I do anything else. Now it's time for the actual foundation application. There's three things when I want a full coverage foundation. I want these three things. So I love to have a beauty sponge. This is the Real Techniques complexion sponge, and I damp the sponge so that it gets bigger and that it's a lot softer in blending. This is the Laura Mercier camouflage powder brush, but it really is flat like a foundation brush. So any sort of flat foundation brush will work really well for this process. I have a few foundations that I love, like the Maybelline Superstay Liquid Foundation, but this one is also one of my very favorite foundations. This is the HD Liquid Coverage Patrice Foundation. This is in the shade 032 Nude Beige. I like to start on my cheeks. I kind of, since this is a squirting foundation, I just squirt it all over. I take that flat foundation brush and I move it down and I kind of paint over my entire face. I paint everything flat onto my face. I don't like to go too close to my under eye because I am going to put concealer there, and I like to put a light amount what's left over onto this particular part. So once I have that kind of brushed out on my cheek, I'm gonna start to take my sponge and I'm going to pounce, and blend it. And I'm kind of bringing it also over to the other side a little bit. Under here as well, sometimes we forget that area. You can even add a little to your ear, whatever is left over. But I don't swipe and I'm not going like this. I am just pouncing the foundation right onto the skin after I painted it onto the skin. I do that to the other side, and I do want to actually get some onto my nose, so I'm just going to take the wand. So I basically do the same sort of thing where I brush out the foundation. You don't have to put as much if you were able to get some from the other side onto this side. And I also want to paint flat onto my nose, the foundation in the inner corners of my nose, under my nose, and up there as well. I take my handy dandy sponge. I start to blend that all. This is quite a bit different than how I showed my more natural makeup, and I like to pounce flat onto the nose. Making some funny faces also helps. And then from there, I take what's left on my sponge and put that onto my forehead. So I just take the leftover, and that there for me gives me a full coverage foundation. Making sure that I'm taking care of my skin. Skincare, that would be a whole separate video. Having a good blurring primer, which would help diminish the appearance of pores and fine lines. Have a flat brush and a beauty sponge and a good coverage foundation. And that's it for my full coverage foundation. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed already. Follow me on Instagram at nessasunshine. And the next video I will be putting up will be the full coverage concealer to this foundation. And that's basically just how I get my full coverage concealer. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below paint. Because when we want to get that full coverage NikkieTutorials foundation, we paint our face like a paint brush on a wall. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you guys next time. Bye! Bye now.